Hello, hello, welcome, and thank you if you're watching the recording or the replay. This is a different time. I'll just go ahead and tell you I had a nasty fall a couple of days ago, and yesterday I could barely move. So I'm blessed that it wasn't any worse than it was. Kind of pulled some muscles in my foot. I thought I had sprained it, but I'm walking fine today. I just needed to rest it a bit. So I did it. I was preparing for these projects that I'm going to show you today, and I had only gotten one of them done and wanted to do another one real quick. And so did that today. And so now that's why I'm going live later in the day. So thank you for being here, and thank you if you're watching the replay. So glad to have you. You can comment, say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and we're going to get started in just a minute. Okay, I am going to, I've got 3 devices going. I'm still trying to get used to this, but I really kind of like it to be able to switch back and forth. It's just getting started. It's like, okay. Oh, thank you, Pam. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I'm no spring chicken, okay? And I can't do what I used to do. I mean, I knew better. I was climbing down a retaining wall, not the wall. It was too big of a step to step down, and I lost my footing and I went back and poof. Okay, just glad I'm doing better. So anyway, okay, thanks for sharing, Pam. Okay, I'm going to flip down and go to this, and we're going to get started. So the stamp set that I wanted to show you today is Circle Celebration. Well, I've made several cards with this. One of them you will see, what's today? Wednesday. Probably I don't know. You'll see it either on my blog or on my email that goes out weekly next week. Okay. It's a really fun one, and I think you'll really like it. This one, I got hung up on using this circle right here. I mean, I love those little vines right there. I mean, I like them all, but I'm drawn to this one, and this one, and this one. Okay. And then I've used this little dot scatter thing on other projects too. So I like that, but those are the ones that I'm drawn to. Okay. And so let's get started. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Lynn Chapman for sharing my live video last week. And she's going to be getting this sampling of this in color ribbon. These are the outgoing colors. So anyway, oh, Carol, yeah, you better be careful. We're 45-mile-an-hour winds, they say here, and rain and thunderstorms. So who knows? So thank you, Carol. Okay, so that goes to Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. And if you do share my video, if you will comment shared in the comment section, that would be great. Okay. All right. So let's get started with our first card. I'm going to do the one that I designed today. It's a very simple design with a kind of a fun technique. Okay. And I'm starting off with a shaded spruce card base cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. Okay. All right. And then I have a piece of, this is that Forever Fern or Forever Greenery Designer Series paper from the annual catalog. And that is measures 4 by 5 1/4. And I'll have all these details are going to be up here with the link to my blog tomorrow where all of these will be. Okay, so that's going to go there. And then we're going to do a circle main image, and then I'll have a sentiment down here. Very easy card. This is the sketch or the layout that I go to a lot of times when I need to make quick cards, because our designer paper is so beautiful that it really just, you know, sometimes you don't need much else. So let me show you what I did. I have a piece of watercolor paper here, okay? And this is that circle vine, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to watercolor, but I'm going to do it with my Wink of Stella. Okay, so it'll be sparkly. Now I used this earlier. I have Shaded Spruce here. This is as my color palette. Shaded Spruce, Old Olive, and Pear Pizzazz. And then I have my Wink of Stella. This is a brand new one. And so what I'm going to do is just take and I'm going to squeeze a little bit down, okay, and pick up some of this ink. And I'm starting with the lightest color. That's Pear Pizzazz, okay? And so we're just going to paint with it. And I'm going to go over this. Now, let me tell you about this before I start getting it wet. This is Shaded Spruce, and then I sprinkled clear embossing powder on top of it, which I need some new clear embossing powder. And then I heat set it so that it won't blend the color too much, okay? But if it does, if you had it like that and didn't emboss it, it would just pull some of that green in, which would be fine. Okay, this is Pear Pizzazz. Okay, see, it's pulling a little bit of that. When you emboss with your classic inks, it needs to be really juicy. And I'm thinking that's what I needed here, but I'm not minding this little bit of a smear that did not catch the embossing because it just goes along with the look, okay? So I am just spreading this around. Then I'm going to pick up some more of this. See this that I squirted down on, this is the Wink of Stella. Oh, that's shimmery. And I'm going to come over here to the Old Olive and spread it out. I need some more here. Okay. And then let's see, I'm going to go back to some of the Pear Pizzazz and come up here. Then I'm going to get some of the Shaded Spruce. Now that's a really bold color, so I'm going to delete that quite a bit. And I'm mixing my colors, but for this particular technique, it's all good. Okay. Anyway, Jackie just got back from fishing, and I said, I'm getting ready to do my live. He said, okay, do you need your internet out here? Because I get my internet through my mobile hotspot on my phone. I said, yes, I need it. He gets hung up on these binge watching these series. Okay, so that looks like one big mess, but trust me, it's going to be so pretty. Okay, so let me go ahead and let that dry a little bit. I think I'm going to let it kind of maybe even use my heat tool, okay, to dry it a little bit. I want a little bit more of this here. Okay, so I've watercolored basically with my Wink of Stella, okay? So let me get my heat tool and I'm gonna go ahead and dry it a little bit. And this I'll just clean off. I can use my Stampin' mist or a baby wipe and clean that all off. I'm gonna leave that like that for now in case I decide to make another card later. So I'm just gonna dry this a little bit and then I'll set it aside and then we'll come back to it in a little bit, okay? So Carol, y'all had snow and now you're going to get the windy stuff? That's crazy. You know, it was about 70 degrees here today. When I woke up this morning, it was about 55, which is balmy. And got up warm, the sun was out. Now it's really cloudy. Jackie said, I better go fishing. Okay, I'm going to leave that aside, set it aside, and let it dry some more. You can just clean this with a, brush it off and clear it, which I'm not going to do right now because I don't want to do my work surface, get it too messy. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. And now I'm going to take this again. And while that's drying, I'm going to take some of this Forever Greenery trim. And look, I'm almost done with this ribbon. I always get so excited when I've used the ribbon, all the ribbon, because sometimes I have so much left over. And of course, I use it on other projects and banners and things like that. So And let's see, this is probably about 16 inches. Yep. So for this type of tying, I usually do it. Hey, Robin. Usually do it about 14 to 16 inches. So this ended up being just right. And I'm going to get to throw this baby away. So anyway, we are, my dad and my sister and her son are coming up here to the Ozark Hills here in this weekend. And so excited to have them. I'm hoping the weather cooperates. I think the weather's going to be kind of yucky this weekend, but then get better. Okay, so there's my nice little knot, and I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. All right. Just like that. Okay, and then like that, when we go to put it on top of our card base, it won't show on the inside of the card. Not that that matters. It's just a matter of personal preference, really. And it's good to adhere it and make it stable and stay put. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's put this here. All right. Love this paper. Okay, so now we've got that. And then what I did is I took, this is some of the pearlescent specialty paper from the mini catalog. It's in the Sand and Sea Suite. You see that glistening there? Yes, Carol, he just got back from fishing. He caught a nice one today. All right, so that, and then I'm going to take this next to the largest circle from the Stitched Shapes, and I am going to grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here, and I'm going to cut a circle. This is really thin too. I like that because that helps in your weight of your cards. You know, oh, Lisa, I'm jabbering and not paying attention. That's going to go there, then this on top. So let's get that through. All right. So look, we're going to have just a nice little stitch circle that's going to back our other circle. Put this up. And we're going to start assembling this card. So now we have this. This is going to go here. And then we're going to punch this one out with a 2-inch circle punch. Okay. So let's put that in there and see. Isn't that pretty? I mean, it's kind of a mess like that, but when you go and go to punch it, oh, it's so pretty with that Wink of Stella. And that's watercolor paper again, okay? And you could do this if you didn't want the sparkly. You could certainly do it with your water painters, okay? And so now I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals and pop that up. And then we're going to put this right here, like that, okay? So see, just a simple card, but it's going to be so pretty. When I was making this first one, the sample that I'll show you in a minute here, I was doing it for my church card ministry. I got the list of names today of people who have been either sick or in the hospital. So I used a sentiment from Itty Bitty Greetings. These are small and easy and so many different ones. So I use Sending Prayers for that, the other one. So I am going to put on this one a little hello. Okay. So it's hard for me to read these backwards since I don't have my, is this the right? Yeah, here it is. Okay, I had thought I would do Sending Prayers again, but I'm going to, my little giveaway for next week, it'll be this card. So I wanted to do just a sentiment that anyone could use to send to anyone. That's way too big of a block, Lisa. Here we go. This one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this with shaded spruce on here. And so what I did, because this is slick and the ink doesn't dry as quickly, I am going to stamp this and let it dry, and then I'll just show you. Okay, so that's a little hello. And then what I'll do is I'll let that sit and hit it with the heat tool if you'd like. Yeah, Carol, I hear you. So I'm going to let that dry, but let me show you the finished card over here. And I haven't done the inside yet, but I'll probably leave it plain. See how I put this? And I punched it out with the classic label punch. Isn't that what it's called? And I colored 2 of our basic jewels pearls with my shaded spruce Stampin' blends to get the color there. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside and I will put that sentiment on later. Let me push this down. But see, isn't that sweet and pretty? I mean, it's very simple, but fun technique. Super simple. Okay, I'll smear that. I'll have to stamp that again. You see how that's smeared? It's because I didn't leave it alone. Okay, there's our first card. Now let me see if there are any questions and I'll get to our next card. So I'm going to suggest that if you stamp on the pearlescent paper, that you heat emboss it, okay, with clear embossing powder to hold that ink. I don't think this one is quite dry yet, okay? All right. Thank you, Pam. I like these colors. And I didn't realize it, but my next card is like the same kind of color family. You'll see. All right, so I have this. This is a pool party base, and you're thinking, why does she have, Carol, yes, I will list the supplies later on for sure, okay? It had this hole in it, and I thought, it's going to be okay. I can cover that up. Just like that. And then when you open it, it has a little spotlight there. I can probably cover that up, but I wanted to make use of this. So I have Pool Party and Bermuda Bay, 4 1/4 by 11, okay, and 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go over top. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Let's see. All right. Got that there. I knew I was going to do that. It's going to, I'm probably going to put a circle over top of that. All right, so got that ready. Now for this is like, to me, reminds me of a quilt. This is 3 by, well, let me look at my directions. That would help, Lisa. The old olive is 3 by 4.5. And then I used one of my stitched rectangles dies. Okay, and if you measure this one, the one I used, it's 1 by 3, the outside edge. Okay, so I used that to die cut some strips of designer paper, and this is the ice cream corner designer series paper. Means love this little watercolor splash pieces, and so I'm using this side that has the colors in it, the blues and the old olive, and then the reverse side of that are these circles on old olive. So let me see, these are going to line up on this piece of old olive, and let's see, that's all blue, so I'm going to put that next to it. And I'm butting these up against each other, and there's just a tiny hair, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, bordering the sides and top when you get through. So let me see which one I want to use here. I want to use this one next. So see, didn't that remind you of a quilt, little strips of a quilt? It's been so long. I still need to make Mia and Clara their quilts. It's not a baby quilt. It's one, to cover with. It's a jelly roll, just easy. But I did that for Lila, and I haven't done the ones for Mia or Clara yet. I mean, Mia's 3, going to be 4 in July. Okay, so you see I'm having to move this. It's tight, tight, tight. Okay, so I'm going to give myself, and I'm going to just start gluing them down. I'm going to start from this edge. And initially what I did, I cut this a little bit larger. But, and then I ended up having to trim it down. Okay, so we're going to make it work here. Let me start putting it down. Hi, Loretta. How are you doing? Loretta lives in Missouri as well. Right, Loretta? Okay, I'm going to get right over here. I'm going to hug that even closer. There's just a hair showing. Okay. Okay, let's go with our next one. So again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Thank you for watching. This is later than I normally do my lives, but I wanted to get it done today because the weather is supposed to start being a little crazy, and sometimes the internet is not great when that happens. So welcome, and thank you if you're watching the recording. All right, so here we go. Okay, I think I have a little bit more on the top, showing on the top than the bottom, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. My concern here is getting all of these pieces here. Okay. All right, so far so good. I'm holding my breath here, y'all. Yeah, it's going to do it. It's going to do it. Yay. Okay, this one's going to be the green dots again. And so this is just going to be like the background for the little circle in focal point. Same little stamp. I'm telling you, I just get hung up on that one. Isn't this paper pretty, though? I was very tempted to bring out the butterflies again. But I thought, nah. Okay, we did it. All right, so there's our little strip quilt done in paper. Thank you, Loretta. Glad you're here. All right, so we have that. What did I do with my card base here? So it is going to go right here. See how pretty that looks layered up on that? I love it. Okay, so let's put this down. And so it's a landscape card that opens like this, okay? Yeah. So I'm just centering it here, top to bottom, side to side, and I'm just eyeballing it. Okay. All righty. Yeah, it is, Pam. Gosh, so pretty. All right. So now we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I've got this stamp. Where's my other? This one reminds me of clouds. The cloud circle is what I call it. And let's see what colors I've been using here, right? Okay, so that, I think I'm going to get my Stampin' Pierce mat here. Okay, so the bottom, this is going to be stamped in Pool Party. Let's get this open. Okay, put this up. Okay, I'm going to test it first. Yep, that'll work. Okay, put this down here. Stamp. Straight up. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't that remind you of clouds? Reminds me of clouds. Okay, and then I'm going to take this same little fern or leaves that I just got hung up on, y'all. I couldn't help it. And I'm going to use Old Olive ink. What do I do with it? It's probably right in front of my nose. Okay, just hang on there. Oh, here it is. I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to test it. I'm going to try it again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stamp it along this edge of that circle. You can't see that, can you? There you go. Okay, we're going to do that. Stamp it along the edge. Here. Ta-da! Okay, now we're going to take... Hi, Dorlene. No, they're not Color Street or Jamberry. I started using, it's called Olive and June nail polish, and it stays on longer than any nail polish I've ever used. I don't know if I'm taking more time or what, but yeah, Olive and June. Okay, I need my 2-inch circle punch that has disappeared. Okay, let me look for it. Do y'all see it on my desk? Here it is. I'm glad I don't have my, I need to, let me see if I can do this. Hello. Now let's see if I can do, yeah. Hi there. Now you can see all my crazy faces that I make. I know this, you probably can't see as well, huh? And I put my face in here. So, okay. So, here we go with this. And now I want to punch a 2 1/4 inch circle punch of this Bermuda Bay because it's going to back it. Okay. Bermuda Bay, I don't know. If I had to pick a favorite Stampin' Up! Color, I don't know what I'd pick right now because it changes depending on the time of year. But really, yeah, it's Stampin' Up! And Coastal Cabana. And then I like the Highland Heather too. So anyway, what about you guys? What is your favorite color? You don't have to list Stampin' Up! Color if you don't want to, but you know, it's kind of like you see a theme when you're making cards and you like tend to reach for the same cardstock or the same papers all the time, you know? So let's see. Just curious. Okay, I'm going to put this flat here. Okay. And then I'm going to take that scrap piece that I threw away, that I can use that. And I'm going to stamp Thinking of You on that in Bermuda Bay. So let me get this. Let me see if, sorry, I know this is crazy there. So, all right, here we go. Thinking of You. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Where's my pool party? Here and here. I was going to take that little cloud stamp again. And stamp it on here. You can see my face when I'm kind of flustered because I can't find what I'm looking for, huh? Ah. Okay, I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper over here. And let's go ahead and stamp these clouds again. I don't need the whole circle because I'm wanting to stamp the sentiment over the that because I'm going to fussy cut it out and layer it on that other circle. Okay. Oh, Lisa. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Let's try that again. Pool party. Okay, nobody's saying their favorite color, unless I'm just not seeing it. I'm not looking at Facebook. I'm looking at the app here. Let me do this. You know what? I don't need this underneath it when I've got red rubber. Lisa. There we go. Okay. Now, let's fussy cut this out. Thinking of You. So this sentiment is from the Happy Thoughts stamp set that's in the mini catalog. It's got some beautiful sentiments in it. And so I'm just cutting out around the shape of the letters, okay? Okay. Okay. So now let's get this back over here. And that's going to go over top just like that. Let me get this ink out of the way before I have a big mess. Okay. And I think I'm going to use some mini Stampin' Dimensionals underneath that. Okay. probably could use a regular size. It's big enough, right? Press down and then pull off. So this card, this Thinking of You card, is a great, I mean, this is my favorite part of the card. It's like, why don't I do that? Why don't I try that more often? Because it shows off the designer paper, so pretty, and it's like a quilt. It doesn't matter, the patterns are mixed. Okay, I'm going to come down here like this. And then I'm going to put this just over top right here. Then I thought it needs a little something else, but I didn't want to use bling. So I had just a little bit of this ornate garden ribbon. It was a combo pack with, I think it has Calypso coral in it too. And I thought I have just enough for these two projects. And there's another ribbon all used up. So what I'm going to do here is tie this into a knot. Yeah, Carol, you're right. It kind of depends on the stamp set. It sure does. And I have really enjoyed using bright colors here recently more than I have in the past. I was more of a Regals colors person, like the jewel tone kind of colors. So I'm going to put this right here. Okay, there are the cards. Here's the other one I made. It is, see, reversed. I did Bermuda Bay and then Pool Party instead of the reverse here, okay? So see a different look, just changing that little, reversing that, different. And then we have these here. So, I mean, you see those colors? I mean, the green's kind of like, so anyway, okay, I hope you enjoyed that. So glad I did get to go live today and spend some time with you crafting. And if you're watching the recording, thank you so much. This I'm using the Circle Celebration stamp set, and I did make another card. I don't know what I did with it, but it's got more of a masculine feel, and I ended up, thank you, Pam, I ended up making it where I used squares instead of circles. I kind of, did something a little different, but yet I used the stamp set. So be looking for that. I'll be sharing that too. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have any questions or if I can help you with anything, let me know. Have a great evening and a great weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.